You've seen lots of coaches, you've covered lots of coaches. What makes Steve Nash unique in how he has handled this year?
Julie, I think you pointed to the most important thing of how many different things that he's had to handle. We've talked about the injuries and players being in and out, add in the pandemic and a compressed season and the uniqueness of everything that goes into this year that no one has experienced. And I know is an enormous challenge for all of these teams and organizations and coaches. So for him as a rookie head coach, I have never seen someone that is so even keeled and composed and just willing to be resilient, but with the same attitude day in, day out, regardless. And you know, as a fellow Canadian, you know, but his Hall of Fame career and what he was as a player, but I think so much of that has allowed him to resonate and connect with the players. And what stood out to me is how he has such a great feel of when he needs to interject and when he really needs to lead and to guide and to be that head coach, and when he allows so many of these veterans and these players to problem solve for themselves in certain situations. And they have such an enormous amount of respect for him. But you can see his growth throughout the course of the year. And it's been really fun to watch him as a coach. He's been a pleasure for us in the media, which is always appreciated. But it is that steady composure that I think has been really impressive.
A steady composure in a really difficult season, dealing with COVID and dealing with injuries, dealing with personalities. Is this like the hardest season you would imagine a coach would have to go through?
I can't imagine a harder one. And I'm sure for as many other years and seasons and things that coaches have been dealing with, but just across the board for all 30 head coaches, just everything that they have gone through with these teams, with all the travel protocols and the health protocols, everything too that you think about, not only what these players are physically dealing with, but thinking about the mental health that everyone has been really strained in handling everything that has gone along, not just with the pandemic, but also socially and so much of the social unrest that has been going on throughout the country. I think there's just been just layer upon layer of instances and things that have been very heavy for these coaches, for the teams itself. And so I give all credit and kudos to all of these individuals and everything that they've been handling.
LaMarcus Aldridge has recently retired, 7-time All-Star, and it, because of an irregular heartbeat, which is really good that he's taking care of his body and knows, when to call it quits at this point. What was sort of the pulse around, and sorry, no pun intended, but around the team when the news came out?
I think in many regards it was shocking, surprising, but really supportive for LaMarcus himself. And he's had a 7-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA. I think he's had a Hall of Fame career. And the team was really excited about, at this point of his career, the skill set and where he's at, what he could bring to this group and how he could hopefully ultimately help them to contend for a title. And so I think more than anything, it was just such a heartfelt support and appreciation for him for putting his health first. Because I know it was an easy decision, and that's challenging to think about. Career and a lifetime that you've poured into the game of basketball, to think about at this point, stepping away, especially how much he had been embraced and was excited about joining this team. But I think all the guys who know him and care about him and love him are just glad that he was able to think about his family, think about his future, of him as an individual and him as a person.